Hey Gibby, what's up? I knew you'd be the first one here. It was only a matter of time. Give it a minute or two and I'll start reading. I know you are. I'll just talk with you for a minute while I smoke a cigarette. I almost didn't end up streaming, but I really wanted to know what's going on with this story. I'm laying in bed too. Look at all these other choices I can unlock. I wonder if she will be also, but it might be a little late for her. I think after the wizard one, like the first chapter, I might go with the demon. Hey Karen. I've been here the whole time, Gibby. Can't watch any more videos because I have as many coins as I can get. I've been collecting them while not playing. Don't look at me like that, Karen. about 2/3 of the way done with my cigarette. Okay, Karen. I lit mine a couple minutes ago. Wonder if it's just only gonna be you two who show up. You know, I was surprised. One of my videos, like either the last one or the one before it, got 30-something views. That message isn't popping up on stream, but it's showing on the other one, Karen. Oh, because my chat was disconnected. Okay. So I won't be able to see it for a minute. I gotta restart the stream on my Fire Stick. Which means I gotta completely restart my Fire Stick, so yay. I'll be with you here in about 3 minutes. Until then, I can't see shit. do 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 do. And I'm back on TV. Oh, hi Ree. I didn't know you were here. I couldn't see because I had to restart my stream. Alright, see you soon, Karen. She's not here. Who? You're an ass then. Yeah, it's called me, Gibby. Oh, it only showed me 3. It could be casual. He's popped in my stream a few times. At least a couple. I have no clue then, Gibby. It's not like I can tell who's actually watching my live stream unless they are typing on chat. I'ma wake her up, turn your sound on, tell her, Gibby. I wish it would quit giving me ads at the bottom. Well, not really, so it can keep your privacy. I mean, it'd be different if they're, like, actually subscribed to you. Or, if YouTube still had the friend thing. I don't know if they have it anymore. So the Chinese food can hear me. Damn, it's already 1 o'clock. I was trying to wait for her to be back to be able to hear it before I started, at least. Alrighty then. You wait for Reggie until Reggie begins snoring before you pull your spellbook out of your backpack. Reggie hates it when you study magic while you're supposed to be keeping watch, but you need something to distract you from the cold. With flint and tinder, you light a single candle to read by. The arcane text that you have read 1,000 times over, but differently each pass through, provides a sort of familiar comfort. A comfort you are grateful for. In this dark forest, soon you are lost in study. After some time, you can never keep track of time when immersed in magical lore. You exclaim, "Yes!" Danger? Reggie rolls over his eye slits. He is only half awake. I understand invisibility. I can turn invisible. At least the spell has eluded me for so long. At last, I think I understand. You say, as you point down at the arcane symbols in your book, "Go to sleep," Reggie slurs, and then his head falls back to the ground. This is Goblin Country, and I am on watch. I dare not sleep, you say, but Reggie does not hear you. He is snoring again. It turns out that you are not so vigilant after all. At some point, as you gaze at the candle flame, you fall asleep. "Awaken! Someone is near," Reggie whispers, as he shakes you. You sit up groggily. It is early morning. At first, all you hear are singing birds. Then, sure enough, voices trickle through the trees. Not goblins. Not in the daytime, you think. They approach upon the trail, Chiba says, huddling in her blanket. To the trail then. But be quiet, says Reggie. Why? Why not stay still and let them pass? Asked Chiba. Because we are adventurers, you whisper fiercely as you gather your backpack. Refusing to be left by herself, Chiba follows you as you creep up to the edge of the trail. Thank the gods she is not sniffling or otherwise making a racket. You have just taken up your position in the brush, but when you see the first of a column of priests of Nerel. Grab me a drink real quick. Several of them are speaking casually, loudly even, as though they are not the goblins own this part of the woods. As they pass by, you see in the middle of a column a large stretcher made of thick wooden branches and rough-spun fabric. It's carried by 8 priests. Upon the stretcher is a pure white horse whose legs are bound with rope. Not a horse, but a unicorn. You have not seen one before, but the long, swiftly glowing horn is a dead giveaway. Several meters behind the main party are a tall man and a woman. You know the young woman, or to be precise, you know of her. She is the beautiful Lady Eugenia, daughter of Lord Eugene. Her father holds a keep and estate from some distance from town, and her family comes to the Ring City for annual tournaments. More than once, you have gazed wistfully at her from the cheap seats far in the corner of the jousting arena. Allow me to take a moment to apologize to the readers who, in real life, prefer to gaze wistfully at handsome men, since you are playing the part of a heterosexual male wizard, and are now gazing most wistfully at this woman. You are disappointed and somewhat horrified, though, not because she's a woman, but because she is, in fact, an Aurelian priest. And the man with her? You wonder. After a long moment, you recognize him as her father, Lord Eugene. To think a man of such illustrious line would get mixed up in this evil lot. Anyway, back to Lady Eugenia. Her jet black hair is pulled back to reveal a most shapely long neck. Her flawless skin glows in the dawn light. It is as though the sun itself, desperate to touch her, has found a path through the forest canopy, the golden unholy symbol of Norel hanging over her bosom. Contrasts nicely with her large brown eyes. We cannot go back there, not yet, Lord Eugenia says. Why would we go back ever? That ruin offers no decent bath, Lady Eugenia replies. There is some unfinished business, however. It can't wait, Lord Eugene says, as he absently pats the pocket in his immense fur-lined overcoat. The old one will move on from Castle Inveneris to seek the living. Let us hope he does not exact revenge upon us. After the column has passed out of earshot, Reggie sighs. A unicorn, was it not? Where did they find such a creature? And what do they plan to do with it, you ask? I wager they do not plan to simply feed her apples and comb her mane, Reggie replies. Her? Is that it is a lady unicorn, you ask? Oh, I did not look. In that, decisive region, Reggie blushes. Such craven and pathetic simpletons, Chiba seethes as she glares after the column priests disappearing around the bend. I propose we tie each of them down and cut off one finger at a time. We will bind their wounds to ensure they will not lose too much blood and fall unconscious. I will then take their eyelids and... I like this chick. That's my kind of torture. Oh, I did not think that all that will be necessary, you interrupt. There are perhaps 24 of them, and I do not think we have time for, all that, work. You and Reggie exchange perplexed looks, and then Reggie whispers in your ear, "Young maidens love unicorns." Chiba regards the two of you with hard eyes. We should attack them now and make them pay for this transgression. There are 2 minutes, even with the element of surprise. I thought you said you were adventurers, Chiba interrupts. Adventurers, not idiots, Reggie replies, his pride clearly hurt. There are only 3 of us, and they are slowed by their burden. We could cut through the woods and get ahead of them. We shall ambush them as they come by. Oh, excuse me. Or we could follow them from a distance and learn more about our quarry. Perhaps strike at a more opportune time, Reggie says. And perhaps they will notice us following them. Or perhaps they are journeying to some vile fortification that we cannot hope to storm. I say we ambush them now. Yeah. While they're in the open, Chiba says, I'm going to try boosting some stats. Oh, you only get 3 points the whole game? Oh, damn. What up, D? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I didn't see you there for a minute. I was trying to see what was up. So the choices are follow them or ambush them. If I was just able to get more mana, I would just ambush them. But since I don't, I will just follow them. How you doing, D? Smoke 'em while you got 'em. And or if you got 'em. Out of it is in a good way, like just not being on YouTube, or out of it as in not well. I'm doing alright. I went on a walk earlier. To deliver some money. A walk that usually takes 30 minutes, or not 30 minutes, an hour, and usually a little bit over. I finished it in about 25 minutes. And the streets are pretty bad, and so are the sidewalks. They are pretty slick. But I like to slide on the ice anyway. I find it fun to slide across the ice in a big patch. I usually take like a running start if it's a good, solid, slick piece of ice. And then just turn my feet to the side as I jump onto the ice and just slide across. So that way if I hit like the ground, like the concrete, it'll just stop me and I won't be going forward. I'll be to the side, kind of leaning back. Girl, you don't know me. I'm accident prone. Oh, this is, I can't remember the name of it. Hang on. Medieval Fantasy RPG. It's basically D&D. I can unlock all these chapters and stuff. But after I finish like the first of the wizard, I'm gonna go with the demon. It's text-based pretty much, yeah. It's basically make your own choice. I haven't had to roll like any dice or anything, so it's not quite D&D based, but it's pretty much D&D based. You know what I mean? Like it's the D&D campaign, just without dice rolling so far. Let's see, what is today? The 20th now. Hi, Ree. Gibby lied to me earlier and said you were here. I was hoping you'd show up. Dungeons and Dragons, do you know what it... I mean... How are you today, Ree? I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons until recently this year. I'm doing alright. I'm alive. Having fun with the ice outside. Although my stairs were a bitch the other day. You feel light as a feather, stiff as a board, D. I'm as hard as a diamond in the ice storm. At least that's what Willie Nelson says in the newer Dukes of Hazzard movie. Oh yeah, we have a hell of a lot of ice outside. It's gotten a lot better. The streets were completely covered with it a couple days ago. And that was even the main roads. Basically, y'all are just here to hear me fuck up some words. Because I've not read this ahead of time, I'm reading this as I go. And my eyes read a little bit faster than my mouth can say. I do not. I hate my voice. I can hear it on my stream and it sucks. Yeah, it kinda sucks not, like, reading it ahead of time and then just reading it for y'all. But I've also gave a couple of the characters short nicknames instead of using their whole name. Why is our once demure, frightened merchant's daughter suddenly wishing to play the role of a bloodthirsty battle tactician, you wonder? Dear Chiba, we will mete out justice to these villains for the death of your father, among other countless evil deeds in due time. You are not trained in the art of war as Reggie and I are. Even if we set a successful ambush, their numbers are simply too great for 2 men. There are 3 of us, Chiba says, fiercely, as she thrusts out her palm. A blade for me? Certainly, adventurers have more weapons than they need. Reggie shrugs, unbuckles a dagger belt, and hands it to her. Even if they scurry off to a fortification of some kind, we will take them. I have the trust of the captain of the guard of Ring City. He will not suffer evil so close, says Reggie. The 3 of you set off after the priests while keeping a good distance away, out of sight most of the time. Luckily, their party is so noisy that tracking them is trivial. After a few hours, your quarry leaves the trail and hikes over the field. You now have to follow a bit closer in order not to lose them. Soon they stop on a hill with a large slab of granite on top. They set the unicorn down the slab and surround it. They begin chanting. The chant is in Infernal, but you can only make out a few words from here. They are chanting a prayer, you think. Something about forgiveness. I'm no Norellian priest, but I do not think this bodes well for the unicorn, says Reggie. They mean to sacrifice him, Chiba says. The unicorn is a him? Reggie asks. Alright, Karen, see you soon. Yes, I observed his, well, When they carried him by our hiding spot, Chiba responds, "Irrelevant," you say in exasperation. "Our enemies stand in the open and on high guard. We cannot approach unnoticed. Allow me to lure them to you, to the forest edge. I shall play the part of the frightened lost girl. They will be overjoyed to recapture what they lost. You can then attack them from your hiding places," says Chiba. "No, my lady. They may harm you," says Reggie. "I will disembowel them," she says, brandishing the dagger Reggie lent her. "I understand your anger for what they did to your father, but do not die a fool," says Reggie. "A fool, am I?" Chiba asks. Her face is such a visage of malice that you and Reggie both take a step back. Reggie stutters. "Perhaps stealth would serve us better," you interject. "I might turn invisible, creep up into their midst, and cut the unicorn free. My friend, surely your powers are best spent spewing forth gouts of deadly fire, not sneaking about like a rat. Fire and steel, simple and effective," says Reggie. "What do you do?" "Use fire and steel, 6 mana. Turn invisible, 4 mana. Using Chiba as bait, priceless." What are your votes? Just to see what y'all think. By boosting survival stats, but I think you can only get 3 points a chapter. I was thinking invisible because that's what I would do in the D&D campaign. But I would use fire and steel more than likely because I would be rolling a die and I'd have more of a chance with that. It wouldn't really cost you mana, it would more be a luck roll. Invisible? Alrighty. Quickly you cast your spell and creep up the hill. The evil priests are bunched together closely in a circle around the slab of granite. Soon you have to take care. Oh, so you have to take care. It is critical that you do not touch anyone, because that would break your invisibility illusion. Your spellbook is very explicit about this point. Pass not even like a breeze, for even the wind is felt by man, because nothing and nothing will know you. You recall the spell instructions saying, one priest shifts to one side, and you have enough room to pass without so much as brushing their long sleeves. Although you have avoided touching anyone, you cannot help making some measure of noise with your footfalls. Fortunately, their chanting deafens them to your passage. Now that you have passed into their inner circle, you can make out their words in the infernal language. We praise you, Ancient One. You are free. Servants, servants, slaves to your will. We ask not for mercy. We ask only to serve. Over and over they repeat this. One of the hooded men looked familiar. Belfour, the farmer. He comes into Ring City to sell his apples every harvest. You know him because he always gets drunk and makes trouble. The guards have learned to keep an eye on him when he has his coin in his pocket. You would never have imagined he was mixed up with dark powers, though. A few others look familiar too, although you can't place them. They must be locals of Ring City. You are now near the unicorn and you have your dagger out. You have a couple of options. You could simply cut the unicorn free and start the fight, or you could try to scare the priests first. I don't want to use mana. I think I'm just going to cut the ropes. Because that 4 could be really useful later on. Eesh. Lost 3 life. Why waste my power on illusions when I have a real unicorn to set loose, you think? You hope the unicorn is fiercer than he looks. The unicorn is still tied to the stretcher, and his hooves are tied together. He is struggling to free himself, and so cutting his hooves free will be a little tricky. Nevertheless, you decide to cut the hooves free first, since the stretcher ropes are at least keeping the unicorn somewhat stationary. After that, you plan to cut the ropes binding him down. The first pair of hooves goes smoothly. Your sharp dagger slices through the ropes without touching the hooves. Unfortunately, the unicorn's sudden relative freedom excites him into a renewed frenzy. It could be at some point in this story, in this page. It just pretty much at some point in this story I'm probably going to get hit by something, like get hit by the horde or the unicorn, or attacked by one of the priests in this part. Or at least that's how it's been on the rests. You get the other hooves free, but your blade and hand touch the creature's leg in the process. The chanting stops, and there are gasps from the crowd around you. I'm visible, you realize. One priest is standing nearby and unsheathes a dagger. A sacrificial dagger, you presume. He lunges at you. The two of you stab at each other at the same time. He stabs you in the stomach, and you stab him in the throat. As the priest falls to the ground choking on his own blood, you slash at the remaining bonds holding the unicorn down. The creature looks at you and says, "Thank you, good sir." Then he is free and he leaps up. You will pay for your... Oh, shit. Right, Gibby? He announces to the others. Oh, I lost another life? Well, some bitch. You nearly shout in surprise. You've never seen a horse talk. His horsey lips do not move about like a human's. Rather, his mouth simply opens and the words spill out. One of the priests glare at you and begins chanting a spell. Fortunately, the unicorn gores him before he finishes. I like this unicorn. I want to make it mine. I want to ride it into battle and fuck people up. You feel a sharp pain in your shoulder. Just behind you is a Norellian priest, his face contorted into a murderous sneer. He pulls his dagger back for another strike. The unicorn kicks his hind legs into your attacker's ribs, sending him through the air. Unicorns are rather useful, you think. "Kill the beast!" shouts Lord Eugene from amidst the other priests. Spells are cast, and the air fills with hissing dark bolts of energy. You duck behind the stone as one sizzles above you. Peeking over the stone, you see several dark bolts strike the unicorn, and it whinnies in pain. Motherfuckers, don't hurt my unicorn. Most of the remaining priests are so focused on the unicorn that they don't even notice Reggie joining the rear of their fray. Dude, I can just ride the unicorn. Why not? And this unicorn gores the fuck out of my enemies? Hell yeah. I should probably watch how many times I say the F word. But the hell with it. Swinging his sword with a grim smile on his face. Somehow they are oblivious to the butchery behind him. "In Norellian's name, die!" the Lady Eugenia shouts from her father's side as she sends forth a crackling ray into the side of the unicorn's head. The magnificent horse crashes to the ground. "I'm gonna kill this bitch." "Welcome back, Karen." "Only you would do that, Gibby." "Behind, behind," someone shouts. Now the priests turn their attention to Reggie. He cannot stand against so many. You charge, dagger in hand, shouting like a madman. With you striking from one side and Reggie on the other, the remnants of the priests scatter. In a flurry of stabs, you cut down a final one before he reaches the woods. A shadow falls across your path, and you whirl about. It's Chiba. Her ragged dress is blotched with blood. and the dagger Reggie lent her drips with the gore of a fresh kill. She has a manic smile on her face. "Revenge! Revenge for my captivity," she exclaims. She then runs off, presumably to hunt down more fleeing priests. You are considering joining her when you catch a glimpse of Lady Eugenia's long, beautiful hair disappearing into the forest below. You rush into the woods to investigate. Sitting propped against a fallen log only a few meters away is Lord Eugene. His glassy, lifeless eyes stare down at his entrails spilling out upon his lap. There are symbols drawn in the blood on large stones nearby. Kneeling beside him is the Lady Eugenia. She is searching his pockets. "Where is it?" she shouts at her father and then slaps his face. "Where is what?" you ask her and take a step closer. She looks up at you with surprise and then she smiles. "Gods be praised! You saved me from my cursed father and his minions," she exclaims. "Saved you from them? You are a priestess of death, are you not?" you ask. You have fantasized about approaching Lady Eugene more times than you can count, but you would never expect your first words to be these. "No, no, I was but a slave to my father," she says, her face contorted in rage. She then smiles down at the mangled corpse next to her. "Now he is gone, and I am free. But we must not dally here. Unruh, a monster from another world, stalks nearby." She points at one of the blood symbols scrawled on the nearby rock. The symbol is an infernal. You look back to see Reggie chasing and hacking priests in a grassy field beyond. Lady Eugenia extends her gloved and bloodied hand. Small, glowing orbs appear and circle her fingers. She stares at the orbs entranced and says, "Perhaps with the help of good people, I may find again the light of this world." Let's turn that screen up so I can see her pretty well. She looks like she'd just fuck you over in no time. Snapping out of her meditation, she returns her attention to you, and she quickly gather your friends and follow me. What do you do? Turn to gather your friends, demand her surrender, attack her, charm her. I mean, I feel like she's just a trap. She gonna kill you. I'm not gonna charm her because that'd only leave me with 1 mana. I could demand her surrender, but with all my friends getting to kill people, why can't I kill somebody? You witness this woman strike down a unicorn with black magic. It'll take more than a beautiful smile to erase that foul deed, you think. Forget the others. Let us flee together. Show me the way to safety, you exclaimed to Lady Eugenia. She flashes you a huge, beautiful smile and turns to lead you. She must have heard you rushing up behind her because she takes only a few steps before turning to face you, snarling. In Nurel's name, I... You interrupt her spell with a stab just above her collarbone. She opens her mouth and spouts blood. Again and again, you stab until she lies on the ground motionless. About damn time I got to kill somebody. Fucking commercial. What a grisly and sad ending for the two of us, you think, looking down at Lady Eugenia. Of course there had never been a two of you, but your dreams were real enough. Sighing, you wonder... She had been looking for something of her father's. What was it? Just then Reggie runs up to you, breathing hard. The priests mean to regroup. I hear them calling for one another in the woods. We best move on. He looks down at Lady Eugenia. Is that? Yes, it is she, you reply. You may need to drink tonight, Reggie says. You nod and then point to Chiba, who is now running around the grassy hills, crying and tripping over through in a panic. Hey, Reggie shakes his head. Only moments ago she was dashing about this field, wielding that dagger of mine like a bloodthirsty assassin. Now who is she? Is that the way of women? I think my chat disconnected on my Fire Stick. Somebody say something real quick, please. Alright, thanks, Gibby. It's working. It said disconnected there for a second, and I wasn't sure if it had connected back. I went with a game more like this because trying to play Call of Duty while streaming, it was so laggy that it was not worth it. It was killing me every time. Like, it would lag me into death. You shrug and jog out and onto the grass. As you take Chiba by the wrist and try to calm her, Reggie announces that he will search just a few bodies before fleeing. No use in letting the vultures swallow our treasure, he says cheerfully. It is not safe to stay out in the open. We must not dally, you warn your friend, ignoring Chiba's attempts to pull away from your grasp. Just then, the unicorn stands up, his legs are shaking, and his eyes are bulging. You thought he was dead. No, not this, the creature bellows. He pauses for a moment, and then screams triumphantly, "The world is mine!" Upon uttering the pronouncement, yeah, he's alive, but he seems like he became evil, and it makes me want to make him my pet even more. And I love that you have unicorn emojis just for this. Thank you, Ree. Upon uttering... Oh, just read that part. The unicorn gallops towards the granite slab and proceeds to bash its own head into it. You hear the horn snap with a crack. Blood spatters the white rock as the creature batters its skull over and over. Gods, why? No, Reggie stammers. With renewed vigor. After a few seconds of this self-mutilation, the unicorn, with its jagged stub of a horn, turns and charges down the hill towards you. All three of you shout as you run with abandon. I knew what you meant, Ree. Welcome, sexy and loyal, to the stream. How are you doing tonight? I will be your narrator tonight. Welcome to my stream. I see Demented Maniac is still here. He was being pretty silent. Of course, when somebody sexy and loyal comes in, he has to say something. You're a little quiet sometimes, D. Let's see, what time is it? Just over 2. I was gonna say, he ain't quiet in voice chat. You're right, Gibby. Oh no. I charmed ogre or something like that in the last stream. And he was bashing them against the ground, ripping them apart, eating them. It was nice. Now it's just those evil priest fuckers who fucked up this unicorn I love. It was gonna be my pet. This dude, after I saved him, straight gored a dude, one of the priests, with its horn. I liked it. And then he saved me from getting stabbed in the back again by kicking a dude in the ribs. They're after me, Lucky Charms. Alrighty, here we go. After a few seconds of this self-mutilation, the unicorn with its jagged stub turns to you and charges down the hill towards you. All three of you shout as you run with abandon. When you reach the woods, you look back to see the unicorn thrashing on the grass, screeching in an unearthly tone. "Evil magic," Reggie says. You stare in horror and realize that this magic is beyond your understanding. Motioning for the others to follow you, you say, "We have pressed good fortune long enough. Let us return to Ring City and the company of good people." The three of you set off toward Ring City, your beloved home. You and Reggie are grateful to have some company for the lengthy walk. The two of you have long since exhausted your trove of stories and can nearly predict what each other will say. Chiba, on the other hand, is full of stories of faraway places, creatures, and magic you've never heard of before. A merchant's daughter must really get around. Wink, wink. As it turns out, Chiba's family has recently moved to Ring City, and her brother, Jordan, tends the candle shop there. Nevertheless, she bombards you with questions about the city. She seems to want to know everything from who's who in the noble families down to the local gossip. The time passes quickly. By nightfall, the tall gates of the city rise above you. The guards, typically a suspicious lot, usher the three of you in without hesitation. They have known you and Reggie for years. Reggie was once even a member of the guard. Once inside, you immediately head for your loft. There you rest and apply healing ointments to your wounds. You hide the majority of your loot under your floorboards. By the following evening, you are refreshed and feel stronger and more powerful than ever. You toss a handful of gold coins into your money pouch and meet with Chiba and Reggie at the Leering Virgin Inn for some much-deserved celebration. What is up with that smile, dude? And I was expecting Reggie to be more buff. And why do we just got, like, a shit ton of money just chilling on the counter there? We trying to get robbed? I mean, tell me that smile doesn't look like she's fucking lost it all. She's nuts. I mean, yeah, the beer looks good, and I love the mugs that they're using. And it looks like they got a little slice of cheese there, too. Kinda makes me wish I had a beer right now. But to have a beer, I'd have to go downstairs, and I don't want to do that. His hair, you don't even see his hair. It's covered by all the mesh chain. The three of you feast and drink and tell stories, exaggerated of course, to the inn's regulars, and otherwise thoroughly enjoy yourselves. There is no justice, there is no law, there is only power. You quote from the first page of the book bound in human skin that you lifted from the sacrificial altar in the Inverness castle. Sounds like what a good zombie rising no good Gorgon's arse would write. Reggie says with slurred speech. The three of you are alone at a table in a corner of the inn, as all the other patrons have grown bored of your boasting and tales and have gone to bed. You page through the book. Ha! What's this, you exclaim? This speaks of the Baroness Erlin lying with Sir Roger of Chesterfield Ford. Evil gossip, no more, Chiba says, and then takes a swig of wine. While the account seems rather detailed, you read further, and Guildmaster Franz Percalez has been skimming gold from the mint, melting the coins down and recasting them with more copper. Aha! I thought the coins from the money changer were light. Reggie begins rummaging in his pockets. What is that? A book of dirty secrets? Chiba asks, pointing at the book accusingly. I rather think it is. Why, this silly little book might be worth more than the rest of our loot put together, you say. And you think that Lady Eugenia might have been looking for that book? Says Reggie. He casts his eye down at the table. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to bring her to mind. I mean, there may be some dirty pictures in there, I don't know. I'll be really surprised if that pops up on stream, because I ain't ready for it. But seeing as how this stream has already gone on for about an hour, they probably wouldn't be watching for that long to check my stream. You put up your hand to reassure your friend. It is well that I learned to not judge a woman by her face, you say, doing your best to give a convincing shrug. I had heard how Eugene had fallen on hard times. Desperation leads to evil path, does it not? Reggie nods vigorously, sloshing his drink. The glassy-eyed expressions on your friends' faces is the last thing you see before you black out. When you regain awareness, you are standing over a bed shouting, "No! Reggie, you can't die, please!" You are pushing down on Reggie's neck, attempting to stem the flow of blood. It is no use. He is deathly still on the blood-soaked bed, and there is no pulse. The fuck? Well, Gibby, it looks like your man died. Well, you were asking for dirty pictures, Ree. I think that's pretty dirty. Those are definitely the infernal runes, I'm sure. So, dirty magic, dirty picture. technicalities. It does look creepy. I wonder if I can screenshot that. I like it. Hey, I can screenshot. Cool. I'm gonna send it to my cousin later. It looks better on my TV screen than my phone screen. I think it's because my TV screen is always so much brighter, like YouTube is, compared to my phone. Even when I turn the screen all the way up, it stays the same on the TV. Gods, no! You shout and run out of the room. You are now in what you recognized as a hallway of the Leering Virgin Inn. You shout for help and look back at him helplessly. From here you can see bloody fingerprints on the walls around Reggie, runes and infernal, told you so, that appear to be some sort of spell used to harvest power from a soul. There are footsteps behind you, and you turn to see a city guard and an old man approaching. Seize that one, the old man croaks as he points at you. He is the murderer. To be continued. Dear reader, here is a map of the area of your recent adventure. Please don't accept much accuracy. Medieval cartographers did not sweat the details. Also, you can see a more complete map of Ring City and the surrounding areas at any time by selecting maps from the main area. Oh, so that's what I was going through, huh? Turn my screen up so I can see what they say. Forest forbidden. I think that's what that says. The Old Road. Castle Inverness. Ring City. Cool. There's a great deal more adventure ahead, but first go see the stats of your first chapter. Complete Wizard's Choice V1. Survive to the end of Wizard's Choice V1. Points plus 10. Coins plus 3 times 2, so 6. Luck plus 1 times 2, so 2. Highest rank for Wizard Choice V1. Oh shit, I got the highest? That's what's up. Another 10 points, another 6 coins, and another 2 luck. Untouchable. You've finished any volume in the library without dying. Another 10 points, 6 coins, 2 luck. Nice work. You achieved 21% of the points possible in the Wizard's Choice series. Right on. Congratulations, you finished the first chapter. Points total 37, coins 67, luck 11. Well played. In only a few hours, tales of your deeds have spread through Ring City. Your total score is 1130, earning you a reputation of loaded with coin, Slayer of Evil. The table below shows where your rank? Oh, damn. I got the most coins I could. Right on. Damn, that morale, I mean. The gold 2, 0 death bonus, 100. Hey, you survived. Nice interactive fiction readers like you are awesome. Should I go on with the next chapter or go with the demon? Thank you, Ree. What do you guys think? Go with the next chapter or go start the demon? I think with the demon I could be more evil, which I like my characters to be a bit evil. But I also like magic. I wish this had more of a character selection like actual D&D instead of the few that it has. I'm guessing demon is just the evil one, but pretty much it's a type of species in the game, I guess you could call it. Not species, more of a race. That's the demon. It has 7 chapters so far. The wizards have 6. She looks kinda hot licking those cherries. There's other choices I could do too, like the rogue. He's more stealthy and he likes to kill people too. He's got 13. Ranger, which only has 1. Okay. And Paladin, which I don't care for Paladin really. So I was thinking of either continuing wizard or going with demon. I'm just not sure which. I mean, I figured as much. I just wanted to see what you all wanted. Just to see. 20 coins, I have 67, so it'll leave me with 47. Well, too late. I wanted demon anyway. I was talking about it earlier before you popped in. when it was just Gibby and Karen. Demon's Choice, the prequel chapter by Michael Gilbert. Spoiler warning, this chapter overlaps with Wizard's Choice 6. So there is a spoiler here. We recommend you play Wizard's Choice first, or skip to Demon's Choice, or skip the Demon's Choice prequel. Fuck it. Why would I skip the prequel when it's gonna tell me some backstory for the story? I mean, I'll probably end up doing the Wizard later if I'm still live streaming this. Who knows, I could be live streaming from a PS4 in about 5 more days. A bloody sun is setting behind thick clouds of black smoke. As you survey the lands below with the indifferent, roving stare of an immortal being, deep, smoldering craters dot the battlefield, indicating that the fight has been going on for days. Distant screams are punctuated by explosions. As the men of this verdant world turn to their machinery to save them from the onslaught of Norel's undead horde. For all the good it will do them, you think. Every time an enemy soldier falls, their corpse is bound to Norel's will, rising again to bolster the ranks of her army. You've watched similar conquests over the centuries, and they all end the same way. You can't kill what's already dead. Not to mention, Norel is no mere commander. She is a goddess. Your goddess. The woman whose grief gave birth to necromancy. Near you stands an anxious-looking wizard. I'm just gonna call him Nux, because fuck trying to say all that. I'll just have to try to remember that. Nux, you believe he is called, who has succeeded in retrieving a soul of unique value for your goddess. The wizard is a clean-shaven young man whose lackluster physique suggests he spends most nights in the company of musty old tomes. And clever though he might be, he didn't exactly endear himself to you when he broke your enchantment on him as though you were a mere common demon. What up, Sobet? Welcome to the stream. I will be your narrator tonight in this D&D-like campaign. I am starting Demon. I was doing Wizard until I just finished a little bit. I see you too, demented maniac. Oh, take a pause for a second. Oh, stretch out. Oh, my shoulder. that pop kind of felt good for my shoulder. How are you doing today, Sobet? I'm alive, as you can see. Doing alright. Just been busy today. Just really busy. So it's nice to have some chill time and just chat with y'all for a minute. You know, I'm thinking this one's gonna be my longest stream yet. 'Cause I'm gonna be going for at least another half hour. So it'll be right around at 2 hours, I do believe. I think my longest so far has been an hour and 30 something minutes. But when I get the PlayStation, if I learn how to stream from it, I'm gonna be doing like the whole game of whatever I get. I may have to stop the stream a couple of times, but it'll probably be all in one day. And if there's too much game, it'll probably be continuing for a while. Oh no, no challenge, because I'll have to stop at some points to do shit. What was it? 25 hours and like 38 minutes or something like that? I'm pretty sure it was over 25 hours. Damn, now that I started yawning, I can't stop. Oh, damn, it went to 27? So if my cousin does end up getting me that PlayStation Plus card for a year, I think I am gonna try to somehow get like $10 or something to try to get either Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th. Because those are two games I've really wanted to play. Preferably Friday the 13th. I mean, yeah, Dead by Daylight's cool and all, but I love the old school classic horror of Jason. There's something about the old Voorhees charm. Oh yeah, I forgot you had a PlayStation 4. My objective would be trying to keep you alive, Ree. But basically, the games I asked for was, or at least that were in the bundle, was God of War. I can't remember if it was going to be the first one or the third one. But I had also wanted Jump Stars, or not Jump Stars, Jump Force, which is an anime game, basically like Street Fighter with anime characters. I think I'm gonna sit up for a few. I think Dead by Daylight may be cross platform, but I don't know. Sorry, y'all are waiting a minute. Doing something real quick. Which, of course, you're not. You are a succubus, a fiend capable of bewitching even the most stone-hearted wretch with little more than the bat of an eyelash. And not just any succubus, but one who has risen through the ranks in Norel's lair of the abyss to become a lieutenant worthy of standing in the presence of a goddess. Along along with the wizard and his friend Reggie. Hey, Reggie's alive again in this one. Whose only value can be found in his ancient soul, are several strangely dressed human youths, and a very agitated demon who was forcefully brought back when the wizard recently escaped the prison realm of Falaneseth. Only a few steps away stands Norel herself, tall and slender, weathered in green flames, her skin pale and flawless. At least she appears that way to mortal eyes, as one of Norel's most trusted servants. When you look upon her directly, her true form is laid bare. Norel's real body is rotten, wretched, and every bit the visage one would expect of the goddess of undead. Her flesh hangs from greasy, malted skeletal frame, forever maintaining a preciously loose state of decay where her tissue can't quite slough off of its tendons and bone. In a wide circle around her, the lush green and flowers of the hill have withered into limp brown stalks. You fall to your knees as her emerald eyes pass over you, and you hear her low, calm voice. She projects it into your mind. You have done well, Azazel. Azazel. No? Fuck it, I'll just call him Azazel. This is indeed the soul that was captured by that pathetic Lanaz. You may stand. You stand, although you aren't certain if it was of your own volition. You avert your eyes until Norel has moved her attention to the rest of the group. You inhale deeply. You hadn't been aware that you were holding your breath. You stretch your wide, bat-like wings. Oh shit, my eye itches. Languidly, and look back out over the distant battlefield. Eventually, you tire of watching the mortals combating the undead and return your attention to the scene nearby. By now, the demon that had returned with the rest of the group lies motionless in a patch of withered grass, his long snake-like body desiccated, his skin gray and stretched tightly over his bones. It's the work of Norel, of course. She kills with such quiet effortlessness. You wouldn't even notice as it happened. Norel is levitating her human prize, Reggie, directly in front of herself. The human vessel contains an ancient and noble soul, or so your mistress says. Narelle smiles at the wizard Nux behind you as she runs her fingertips gently across Reggie's cheek, leaving several long black scars that crack and decay. Reggie's friend, the wizard Nux, is gritting his teeth. You don't need to be able to read minds to know that he's about to do something drastic, which could reflect very poorly on you, his captor. You step between him and Narelle. To be a servant of Narelle, you must know loss, you say. Do not worry, it will be over soon. The wizard looks past you with rage written across his face, quietly says something you can't make out, and promptly faints. His body slumps to the ground unceremoniously, with his robe hiked up a little too high on one leg. What do you do? Hold back for now, or kick the wizard? What you think? As a demon, I would probably kick the wizard awake. But he's probably faking so he can try to attack me. What do y'all think? Hold back for now or kick the wizard? I think if I go to kick the wizard, though, it is a trap. Or at least it would be if I was playing the wizard. One vote for hold back. Ah, I wonder what would break first. You or your spirit? Luke, I am your father. I think I'm just gonna hold back for now. Ew, my morale increased. As you watch carefully, you quickly realize Nux has not fainted. Rather, he was projecting his soul from his body, no doubt to possess another. He uses the spell I taught him. He is clever, but I shall guess the game he plays. You smile. You have always enjoyed a challenge. Who does he intend to possess, you wonder? Fuck you, preview, or game commercial? You look around quickly, scanning for any sudden changes in the three human youths he brought with him. But their sunken, darkly outlined eyes show only the fear one might expect of any mortals encountering demons, the undead, and a wickedly cruel goddess for the first time. Your mind whirls. If he is not possessing them, then that only leaves Reggie, the wizard's friend, who now hovers near Narelle. It would be strange for Nux to possess his own ally unless his intention is to get near the goddess. You turn around just as Norel draws the floating man toward her for a kiss of death. However, there is no longer fear in Reggie's face. His expression is focused, resolved. His lips move slightly, and he waves a hand between him and Norel, causing her to pause for a moment. A spell, you realize. You open your mouth to shout a warning to your mistress, but just then Reggie leans in and kisses Norel. Reggie is released from his telekinetic bondage and falls to the ground. You expect his body to be lifeless, a corpse just like all the others Norel has kissed. But his eyes are open and he rolls away just as Norel lets out a great roar of fury and anguish that echoes painfully through your mind. I kind of wish this had sound so we could have sound effects like the roar and shit. That'd be kind of cool. The sky darkens unnaturally, and great pillars of smoke materialize from all around, rising from the ground and filtering down out of the air. The area around you looks like an endless forest made out of dense fog. Then you hear it, the wailing of the damned. There is no end to them. Countless spirits rise from all around and streak toward Norel with vengeance. For Norel, spirits are little more than do what? Right? The Mayan death whistle is fucking amazingly creepy. I love it. I love that it's shaped like a skull and blowing it sounds like the wells of the dead. I recommend looking it up to those who have not seen it yet. I'm sure Sobet would agree with that. So how well do you guys actually like this type of thing? Do you actually like me reading it or reading it yourselves because I changed names? That's because it's like Dungeons and Dragons, so bet. It's a really fun game, but uses a lot of imagination and it's fun as shit. You can literally make any kind of thing you want in it, basically. You can even make your own creatures in the game. And you can learn to like tame some like ancient and mythical creatures in the game. Is what real. Oh, the Mayan death whistle? Yeah, that shit's real. It's amazing. I've always found creepy stuff real fascinating like that. I don't know why. But just the Wells of the Dead kinda seems like a cool tool to have. That sounds like an awesome weapon that I could make in the D&D. So, Bet, you know how quick you would become a creepypasta-like type thing if you did that shit? You would be like the SCP, what's his name, Siren Head. I seen another SCP video the other day that is a statue, but if you look at it and there isn't more than one person, and if you blink, it'll kill you. So your chances are increased if you have more than one person. Dude, I'd be down to summon an ancient demon. I'd want to become homies with him. Let him teach me his demon ways. I will follow. Shit. I I will follow until I'm stronger and can make him my servant. That's the type of shit I was doing in a D&D campaign a few months back with my cousin. I think that was what it was, 98. Excuse me. Yes, I stopped so I can smoke a cigarette and talk to y'all for a minute. Because we were talking about some cool shit. Have you seen Siren Head yet, Sobet? It's kinda cool. Basically, it's just a giant walking fucking, oh, what are those things called? The things that hold the speakers with the heads. I don't know what the pole is called, but it's the whole pole and the speaker heads, but it's mouths in the speakers, and it even has a tongue in each of them. Kind of creepy. I like it though. It's cool and disgusting at the same time. It reminds me of something that you would have seen from a show called Gravity Falls. But anyways, it can imitate any of your loved ones or people you know and try to coerce you to it, and it'll fucking eat you. I gotta say though, my favorite is Bill Cipher. I love you guys for loving Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls was my shit. I loved watching all kinds of theories about it and trying to do all the decoding and shit of the episodes. The pig's name has a name, Ree. Its name is Waddles. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I know pretty much every single character's name that's a more main character slash side character, not background characters. Like one of the gnomes' names is Schmeguloff. Hmm. Have you seen the Has Been Hotel yet? That's been making its rounds on YouTube recently. They have another video, I can't remember its name, that I seen that I liked. It was kind of like the Has Been Hotel, but it was different. Same kind of like art style though. I'll have to try to look it up and see if I can find the name. Actually, I could do that now. Let's see, where is it? Oh, have you guys seen people skating on thin ice and what it sounds like? Let me show you this.
What are we doing here? Welcome to Paytonville. Nationwide has taped everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every...
Maybe it's a little bit sooner. Maybe it's further back. But when he rounds one of the corners, you can straight see the whole ice shake. It's kind of cool. It's creepy. Let's see here. You know, I could here it is. Has been hotel. Go here. Hell of a Boss is what it's called. But I think you'd like Hell of a Boss if you looked it up and watched it. I did like the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated too. It was better than a lot of the remakes. Who was your favorite character in it? Yeah, Shaggy was pretty cool. I kind of like Professor Pericles, though, too. But I always gotta go with Shaggy anytime it's Scooby-Doo. Alright, let's get back to this for a little bit. However, with this many attacking her at once, it may be possible to harm her. You've never seen anyone so much as land a glancing blow on your goddess. But with countless spirits flooding into this world, you have to consider the possibility. So far, the spirits are ignoring you, focused as they are on your hated mistress. Even so, standing here like an idiot, you will get killed if even a fraction of the spiritual horde were to target you. You'll need to take action, and quickly. Norel created a divine creation or connection when you became bound to her as her slave. This connection forms an unbreaking contract between you, grants you some control over the dead, and allows you to call upon a fragment of her power to amplify your own spells. You can use that divine power to try to destroy some of the spirits closest to Norel, to buy her some time to react. Alternatively, you could focus on gaining control of a few of the spirits and try to cause some chaos within their ranks by having them attack one another. Or you could simply flee from the immediate area, flying high above the commotion, but staying close enough that your goddess might not later accuse you of abandoning her. What do you do? Attack the spirits, 3 mana. Control the spirits, 1 mana. Fly away, free, but disgraceful. got 10 mana I can spend. And I can get a total of like 3 back later. What do you guys think? Attack the spirits? Possibility that they could go after me. Control the spirits, attack one another, but don't know how well that'll actually work. And I'm not disgracefully flying away. One vote for control. Votes for control, and I'm sure you guys are technically the only two really watching, unless Dee's just being quiet. I'm pretty sure Gibby fell asleep, and Sexy and Loyal might have fell asleep too, or just left. So let's go with control. Possessing a spirit is very different from possessing a living thing, or being. In that area, there is no body in which to contain the soul. In fact, you can't even think of a time when you had to do it before. You take a deep breath and let it out, calming yourself, and then you carefully separate your soul from your body. Your soulless body slumps to the ground, fortunately landing on the bed of soft grass. You move your soul forward until you're just outside the worst part of the storm of raging spirits, and then you spot a particularly nasty-looking demon soul. Its head is misshapen, full of jagged fangs and scars that are apparent even in its translucent form. You quickly move forward and touch the demon soul on the shoulder. It feels solid, you think. Despairing, how am I going to possess something that feels solid when I'm in a spectral form? Then it occurs to you, you'll simply have to convince the spirit in the same way you convinced anyone else. You'll enchant it. The demon soul turns around and bares its fangs at you, which shows in several rows stretching from ear to ear. I need a favor, you whisper before realizing that the sound of the wailing souls completely drowned you out. Destroy this bastard, you shout, pointing off to your right. At no one in particular, and I'll bring you pleasure that likes of which you have never encountered, even in life. Greed flashes across the demon's eyes, and you hope that its fangs are now bared in a smile instead of a threat. You remain tense until the demon soul rushes off in the direction you are pointing. Oh shit, it used 2 more mana. Or at least it'll force me to use 2 more mana. The demon is difficult to find amid the churning mass of spirits, but you finally notice him again. When he stops and attacks another spirit, the other spirit stops, confused, and then when the demon attacks again, tries to retaliate. Soon, another spirit joins in and also attacks the demon. The fighting begins to spread, and although it isn't interrupting the flow of the spirits around Narelle yet, it is beginning to interrupt some of the spirits trying to make their way to Narelle. Then there's a huge flash of green light from Narelle, and you immediately feel as though your insides have turned ice. You grit your teeth and pour more of your mana out to keep your soul from being destroyed outright. Suddenly, you notice that the rest of the spirits have stopped fighting and have turned back to fight Narelle. Demora's mercy, you think as your mood darkens. If Narelle herself can't stop this torrent of damned, then what could I possibly do? The last thing you need is an angry goddess accusing you of abandoning her, but there is little you can hope to achieve by standing next to her and risk being consumed by vengeful spirits. Besides, it would be difficult for her to reward you for your blind loyalty if you're already ceased to exist. You kick off the ground hard, flapping your bat-like wings in powerful motion that lifts you high above the ground. I'll watch a video. Forgot I had the sound on. My bad. I can get 2 more coins. Everybody's trying to get are getting sponsored by that Raid Shadow Legends game. I see it everywhere on YouTubers' channels. I can only get a total of 49 coins total. It kinda sucks that I can't gain more, but it's whatever. It's a odd number that I can't just get to 50. I'm sure they've probably already made $1 billion if they're paying a bunch of YouTubers to sponsor their shit. Like, not just one video or 2, it's in quite a few of them. Raid is insane. They've probably made... Yeah, I just read that. You spin the ring in your right hand as you hover in place. Surveying the chaos below, you don't wear much in the way of jewelry, especially for a succubus, but this ring is something that always stays with you. The ring was one of the very few true gifts you've received from Narelle. It allows you to instantly teleport to the safety of Narelle's fortress without expending any mana, and has saved you more than once. The only trouble is that Goddess must recharge the ring with her own mana after each use, which is something you have always assumed to be more of a way of tracking their use than anything. You wonder how many years of service you have tacked on to your contract with her through the use of this ring alone. Unfortunately, even as distracted as she currently is, you know it's likely that she would notice if your presence disappeared from this dimension entirely. I mean, that is kind of an OP ability to be able to use to get back to the fortress, even in, like, the worst condition possible. Like, you're on the verge of death, like, death's door, and just pop it, and you can get healed. I wish I was really good at making up campaigns like this, and I'd try to play D&D with you all over like the phone or something, or hell, even on live stream. Shit, I could try like live streaming one of me and my cousin's games if he comes back and we play one, if you all would like. It's a lot of just like imagination, making your own shit up. Like for the dungeon master, he makes up everything for the journey. And you, if he's a nice dungeon master, you can ask him to throw in something. Or he could just be a dick and put it in, but there has to be like certain conditions met to be able to use it or something. Oh shit, my phone's at 21%. Where's my charger? Here we go. But yeah, I really like D&D from what I've played anyway. I've only played in like 3 or 4 different campaigns that my cousin's made, and it's just been me and him playing. It's supposed to be more than just 2 people, but since we didn't have another, you can kind of just make up what you say on the spot for the characters that you make. And for the players, you make up your own stuff also, pretty much. I wish I still had my one set of dice. I lost my other one too. I had a set of tiny green ones that were really, really tiny. And I had a set of normal sized ones that were black with red numbers. My cousin had a bunch of beautiful ones before he had a house fire before he moved. He had a pearl bone type one set of dice. That'd be cool, so bet. But he also had a set of red scarabs. They were really shiny. He had a set of jade scarabs. He had a set of galaxy ones. And a couple other sets. And all the dice in total he lost was about almost $100 worth in a bag. he was pretty heartbroken over that. But a few of us and his friends got together and got him some replacement sets of the same ones he lost. And a set that he had wanted for a while that was about a $20 set. It was like a black onyx with a really beautiful blue streak in it. It was like a dark blue, so you could just barely tell it was there, but if you see it, you see how beautiful it really is. This is more like a ring around it, kind of like a planetary ring, like a few sets of them around it. Oh, shit. See, phone's up to 22 and still charging okay. Let's continue. A large piece of metal whirls by your ear, bringing you back to the present. You scan your surroundings and don't see anything that might have caused it. You then notice the wizard still very much alive. You watch the wizard struggle through the storm of souls to approach Norel. He reaches up slowly, hastily, and presses the tip of his finger against Norel's largest toe. What the fuck? This dude got a foot fetish or something? Creepy ass wizard. Your forehead wrinkles in pure rage. How dare that filthy mortal touch her? It takes all the self-control you can muster to keep from driving into the mass of hostile spirits to rip him to shreds. You regain your composure, and you briefly wonder how much of this rage is truly yours, and how much is due to some of the side effects of your slavery to Nero. I will never die, Norel's scream echoes into the distance, deafeningly loud, even in comparison to the spirits attacking her. Just what did that wizard do to put a goddess in such a position, you wonder? You watch as the wizard climbs back to his feet and flees to his mortal friend, who was hiding beneath a large tree at the top of the hill. He is not yet clear of spirits, so although you would like to confront him, it may not be worth the risk of descending back into the swirl of chaos. The wizard stops to speak to his friends, some of whom are making dramatic gestures while the rest just stare, blankly. Then he pulls out a book and begins to cast a spell. Now might be a good time to kill Nux. After all, he's already distracted by his spell casting. One well-placed lightning bolt would end him. He's rather resourceful, though, you think. To outright kill a mortal with such talent strikes you as a waste. He would make a useful slave, but clever mortals often make for dangerous slaves. He would always be trying to outsmart you. Guile him, maybe. Certainly not. you could addict him to the pleasure of the flesh. Pasty skin and crow's feet around the eyes, no doubt from too much squinting. Now here is a man who is not yet jaded to the touch of women. As you inspect him from above, you realize what he is doing. A gate spell. A golden portal tears open in the space in front of Wizard. You fold your wings back and dive, hoping to capture the wizard before he can escape through the portal. Suddenly, all you can see is green pulsing light coming from the center of the storm of souls. No, it's not possible, you think, as you flap your wings to a halt for your descent. What are you laughing at, Ree? How many times I fucked up a word there? Because I think I fucked up a couple. Oh. Yeah, I don't know whose flesh he's giving him. I mean, yeah, it is pretty nice. No mere mortal could resist the thrill of the thriller. Boom, doom, 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 doom. Ba-doom, doom, 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 doom. Okay, where was I? Okay. You can feel the immense amount of mana being released into the air, causing chills to run down your spine, and making your mouth taste coppery and dry. For Norel to be reacting so strongly can only mean one thing, that her life is in danger. I mean, cannibalism isn't illegal as long as you don't kill the person and they agree to giving you their flesh. It's just very, very, very frowned upon. Do you want skinwalkers? Because that's how you get skinwalkers. At least according to the creepypastas. It's fucked up I'm a demon with 2 morale. Yeah, some of the shit I've seen has been pretty interesting about him. Do any of you like Steven Universe? So kinda like Pumpkinhead so bad. It's better to watch most of the series because it gets a lot better. and have some really amazing songs. Alright, now I'm comfy again. By the time you look back down, the wizard and his friends are gone. The air hums with energy. Norell's building spell could destroy everything within sight, and if it grows any larger, it could threaten the entire world. At least the world you're in now. Releasing this much energy, much power could certainly endanger herself. Must be planning to take this entire dimension with her when she dies. You realize, is it possible that a mortal wizard did all of this? You wonder. As you look at the portal that the wizard left behind, you consider chasing after him, demanding answers, explanation, anything, but you're conflicted. With Norell gone, you'll be free of your contract. You won't be able to call on her power anymore, although the full implication of Norell's demise hits you like a battering ram. With Norell gone, her entire empire will fall, and you will no longer have her protection. You need to return to her city, gather your most valuable belongings, and flee to the darkest corners of the abyss before your enemies destroy you. Norell's glow is all you can see in any direction, and there's no doubt that not even your spirit will be left if you're caught in this release of energy. You exhaust the power held within the ring to teleport you back to Norell's fortress. Oh, damn. Wait, I thought it wasn't supposed to use any mana to use the ring. Is that not what I read? That it was supposed to not use any mana? So I'm down to 6 mana so far. Cool. But, like I said, I can still get up to 3 back. I have not lost any health yet, I don't think. Your vision swims, and you feel your heart stutter as your body reacts to the abrupt shift in dimensions. Teleportation is uncomfortable under the best of circumstances, but you find it even more disorienting whenever you make the journey back home to your chambers, since Norell's city is slowly dragged along by the undead. You cautiously brace yourself for an unsteady landing on moving ground, then stumble as the correction proves unnecessary. The floor beneath your feet is ominously still. If the city is truly stationary, then Norell has lost control over her servants. You reason that can't be good. Quickly, you focus on your connection to your mistress. There's still a connection. She's not dead, but the connection is weak. She is dying, you realize. Narelle certainly appeared to be in trouble when you left her, but that's not what makes you certain. Rather, it's a feeling in the air, really, a lack of feeling. Narelle's presence no longer permits everything here. Er, you don't know anything about the death of a god. After all, it is a rare event and not something that has happened in your long lifetime. You have heard of a few stories, but such ancient legends are unreliable. One thing you do know is that time often flows differently in different dimensions. The last seconds of Narelle's life in the world you left might stretch on for hours, days, months, and here in the abyss. So if she's dying and your instincts tell you she is, then you cannot say how long you have before your greatest source of power is gone. Hold on, mistress, you pray to the ceiling. You do not dare to say aloud your true wish, that her death drags out for a while, long enough to give you strength to escape the abyss, yet short enough that you avoid Narelle's punishment for deserting her. Narelle had countless enemies. Once they realize her power is waning, they will attack, killing or enslaving her servants. Regardless of how long you have, you need to gather as much as you can before the abyss itself descends upon you, and before you can no longer draw on Narelle's power to amplify your spells. You sprint down a nearby corridor using your wings to propel you along more quickly. You take a hard left and stop at a large door near the end of the hall. A chill slowly runs down your spine. Something is watching you. Something powerful. You turn around, but the hallway appears empty. You turn your back to the door and place your hand on the handle. You enter the room you have lived in for hundreds of years. And look around. The word is still on your door and nothing seems out of place. You quickly shut the door behind you and mutter an incantation under your breath to ensure that there are no invisible assassins lurking nearby. You don't see any, so if anyone is hiding in this room, they're doing it the old-fashioned way. You first glance up at the high ceiling of your room, doing a cursory check to ensure that nothing is hovering above you, ready to attack. The room is spacious and richly furnished, with thick stone walls and plush rugs on the floor, none of which show signs of visitors. You throw open the door to a dark and ornate armoire, just in case some imp-sized creature thought it was clever to hide in there. Nothing. In the center of the room is a giant bed with black silken sheets and pillows, neatly folded. I kinda like that. I want some black bedspread. Proper turn down service is the real proof of power in the abyss. When chaos rules, reliable work is incredibly difficult to come by. You're distracted by a wide, round mirror affixed to the ceiling above your bed. Your lips lift in a subconscious snarl as you think about that mirror. That was one of the first gifts granted to you by your goddess. Occasionally it will show you forgotten bits of your past. Same what, Sobet? Sorry, I just seen it. Occasionally it will show forgotten bits of your past, the parts that Narelle had deemed unnecessary when she bound you to her service. Oh yeah, right? But they always fade again like a dream upon waking, leaving you feeling empty, broken, and desperate to return. But for the most part, it is just a regular wretched mirror. You tell yourself to focus on the task at hand, and you try to summon the most important thing first, your stash of dark nectar, an intoxicating and valuable substance. If you are to have any hope of leaving the city alive and having a fighting chance in the chaos that will ensue from the fall of your powerful goddess, you'll need all of the nectar that you can carry. Once your link with Narelle is severed, you'll need it to increase the potency of your magic to hold your own against her myriad of enemies. The summoning fails. You clench your jaw in frustration. Close your eyes and try again. Nothing. You scream in anger and kick over a small lamp and stand. Glass shatters and oil splashes across the floor. Thieves, you seethe. Who would dare to steal 100 years' worth of the finest dark nectar from Azazel, binder of souls, mistress of the Lympria fortress, lieutenant of Narelle, the goddess of undeath? No, her former lieutenant, you realize bitterly. You wish you knew exactly how much time had passed in this world since it became apparent that Narelle is dying. If the fact that someone would dare steal from you is any indication, it must have been quite a while already. You'll need to move even more quickly if you want to be able to leave before any large-scale maneuvers against Narelle's holdings. I mean, demons still, that's kind of some of their nature. I mean, I was a Lynch King that started out as a Dragonborn, which is just a dragon-human hybrid. But working through one of the campaigns, I ended up getting control over some powerful artifact that could do a bunch of shit, like make a couple of wishes true, but I had to make some death roll saves. If I wouldn't have got as high as I did, I would have died. But in the campaign, we killed God because he sent his army to fight off our demons. He tried to pretty much, resolve, I guess. Basically, just cleanse all of their sins and try to get them out of the battlefield from us. So me and my cousin were like, hell nah, and we just slaughtered God. and took control over his army. Any who disobeyed, we would kill and make them part of our army as the undead. And me and him had a couple of dragons that we got, even though a couple of them were just copies from a certain creature's effect, making them into whatever they touched. And they were ours to control. So I ended up getting a baby Dragonade and raising him up really high leveled. And we would just clone him, because the clones can only stay at the level that he was currently cloned. Which kinda sucks, but if it's high enough level already, it doesn't matter. I also had a Hydra. It was fun. I also controlled a lot of wolves. You leap across the room with the flap of your wing and land lightly near the hearth. Hidden behind a loose stone within the hearth should be a small cachet of dark nectar. You dig your pointed nails in around the stone and ease it out. Then reach in and feel around. Your hand closes around a small bottle and relief floods through you. Simple is best, you think. The more magical words you place on something, the more obvious a hiding place it becomes. Damn, how many pages have I gone through already? And not even a checkpoint. I mean, I've had to have gone at least through 6 to 7 at least. So, how many are still actually here and paying attention? Just you two? Sobat and Ree? I don't know. I've never not gotten to a checkpoint before getting off. But I think I can save it to the cloud. Alright, I think it's saved at least to the cloud. Right? I hate newsletters. But I find even if I click don't show again, it still pops up. At least if I hit not now, it won't show up for a few days. Usually the next time I do it with not or don't show, it's usually the next time I start playing. So, Ree, when are you gonna stream again? I probably won't be streaming too much awful longer. Or I'll just stop for a little bit and then come back. Right. I'd definitely love to get Friday the 13th at some point in time. So if someone gives me like money for Christmas, I'm gonna try to get it. I was gonna say I thought Ree hated Oblivion. No, I don't really want you guys to do that. I've seen you stream that a couple of times. Yeah, some of my favorite games are just horror games. Although I like fighting games. That's what I'm hoping for, so I can try to pick it up if one of my relatives do give me money for Christmas. Because if I see it for cheap, I'll see if I can use somebody's card here to try to get the game. I kinda wish I could play Left 4 Dead on it. But I think that's just a Xbox game. I hope y'all didn't mind how much I've stumbled over words in this shit. Good luck with that, Sobet. It did help that I'm just reading this for the first time and have to try to read their names on the fly. That's why I've just given most of them little nicknames. I don't know, that's up to you. I don't even know what fold you're talking about right now. I don't think I did. I hate the way my voice sounds on stream also. I thought it would sound a little bit better, but no, it sucks. It'd probably be better if I had, like, headphones with a microphone on it. Really? 'Cause I don't think it sounds too deep on my end. I've never thought my deep voice was deep ever. Although I'm sure smoking cigarettes helps my voice go a little bit deeper. Yeah, it always sounds really different to me when it's recorded. But yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty easy to stream from the PS4. People always think I'm at least in my 30s because of the shit I say. Like, how old do you think I am, Sobet? And how old did you think I was, Ree? Because I remember, if I remember correctly, you thought I was older than I really was. Oh no, I'm a bit older than that, so bet. I don't have multiple YouTube accounts. I only have one working email. Only have one email linked to my YouTube. Nope. I just turned 26 a couple months ago. Actually, you guys, Ree was closer by 1 year, even though she was over. So, Ree, you remember how I was telling you that I have a package coming from a contest? Well, one of the contestants just got their prize, so mine shouldn't be too far away. As long as she remembered to use my full name. You a good looking elder, Ree. Just saying. I don't know what's in it. It's a mystery package. She kinda just decided to send us something. They could all be the same thing, or they could have all been different. But when I do get it, I'm gonna do a video of it. I'm gonna do a live stream and make it public so it can stay and shout her out. Yeah, I hate being as old as I am already. Time flies quicker the older you get, and it's already starting to go by way too quick. I thought it was going by fast when I was like 18 and 19, but it ain't shit compared to how old I am now. It's like light speed compared to then. Same. And retain all the knowledge of what you have now, right? Because if I had the knowledge that I have now, I would have spent some more time with a couple more people. I would have made more of an effort. And I probably would have ended up going to college to continue welding. if I would have went to welding college, they would have pretty much been really low prices because welders are really needed. And the school kind of pays you for doing their program. But I think I'm about to end the stream for a little bit, at least. Yeah, underwater welding you can get about $30. Oil rigs are even more, but I wouldn't want to put myself in quite that much danger. Although, I would like to battle a shark while welding. Oh yeah, you get easily 40 to 45 bucks. I mean, shit, $40 an hour, at least? Shit, it's almost tempting to do. I liked the landscaping job I had. I was making $10 an hour. It was hard ass work though, especially being such a big guy. In the summertime, I was dying. Go ahead and try to save this real quick. I think if I go to YouTube, I can make some moderators. Just for shits and giggles. See if that's how that works. Yep, that's how it works. You get a wrench, and you get a wrench. And since nobody else has commented for a while, no wrenches. It's Streamception. No problem, Sobet. You're pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna get off here for a little bit. I may be back within a couple hours, maybe an hour, something. Don't know yet. But it's been nice having y'all here. If I don't come back, good night. You don't have to do that. Much